Hi, this is Brendan Watson from Watto Training, and in this trainer tutorial we look at the automatic gear changing exercise for C-Class drivers. As part of the Q-Safe driving test, the learner will be required to do at least two of the following manoeuvres: U-turn, hill start, reverse park, reversing exercise, turnaround, and automatic gear change. At least one of the manoeuvres will have a reversing component. The learner will be assessed on their ability to manoeuvre the vehicle legally, safely, efficiently, and accurately. Instructional tips. Get the attention of your audience. Know your message. Know your audience. Be positive. Make eye contact. Keep it simple. Keep it safe. Be concise. Be clear. And pace your instructions. Consider your teaching process. 1. Create a clear learning program. 2. Make the material matter. 3. Deliver your session with purpose and passion. 4. Have a learner-centered focus. And 5. Reinforce with repetition and feedback. How do I know if a location is safe to perform the gear changing exercise? You can conduct what is called a risk assessment. Step 1. Identify hazards. 2. Assess the risk. 3. Control the risk. And 4. Review your risk control. What is a hazard? A hazard can be any possible source of danger on or near the road that could lead to a crash, and it can come from any direction. For example, a child chasing a ball onto the road, a parked car door opening, a vehicle merging into your lane or stopping suddenly in front of you, a slippery road surface after rain. How do we assess the risks? Assessing the risks means working out how likely it is that a hazard will harm someone or how serious the harm could be. Whenever a driver spots a hazard, they need to assess the risk by asking two questions. How likely is it that the hazard could cause harm to them or someone else? And how badly could they or someone else be harmed? Prior to performing the maneuver, make sure your student is correctly set up in the driver's seat before driving and conducting maneuvers. Make sure your student's mirrors are correctly set up before driving and conducting maneuvers as well. General instructional tips. Actively scan the road environment. Scanning means a driver takes in the whole scene 360 degrees around their vehicle. Keep your eyes on the move throughout the maneuver. Move your head. Effective scanning means the learner constantly moves their eyes and/or their head when driving so that they can detect hazards that may arise ahead, to the sides and behind their vehicle. Be aware of blind spots such as window pillars, door pillars, and the rear panel. Use your central and peripheral vision. Central vision is when our eyes focus straight ahead, allowing us to drive, read, and see details sharply. Central vision only covers about 3 degrees of our visual field, but it allows us to make very important judgments like estimating distance and understanding details in the path ahead. Peripheral vision, or side vision, is the ability to look directly ahead at an object and see other objects off to the sides. This full field of vision should be approximately 140 degrees, 70 degrees on either side. How will the maneuver be assessed as per the Q-Safe criteria? The examiner's wording will be something like this. I'd like you to do a gear changing exercise. Please select a lower gear. Thank you. And then once the maneuver is completed, When you're ready, reselect normal drive gear. The learner must select a lower drive gear for the car, then reselect the normal drive gear while moving. I use a Hyundai Automatic i30 for training, so this tutorial outlines the process for this specific vehicle. Please see your owner's manual for the specifics on how to conduct the gear changing exercise in your vehicle. A couple of notes about the automatic Hyundai i30 before we proceed. There are 4 forward gears, 1, 2, 3 and D for drive, and 1 reverse gear, which is the R on the diagram there, the gear layout. Generally, drive is used for forward driving. Safe use of the gears. And again, this is still relating to the i30. Never move the gear selector lever into P, that's park, when the vehicle is in motion. Never take the car out of gear and coast down a hill. This may be extremely hazardous. Always leave the car in gear when moving. Do not ride the brakes. This can cause them to overheat and malfunction. Instead, when you are driving down a long hill, slow down and shift down to a lower gear. When you do this, engine braking will help slow the car. Slow down before shifting to a lower gear, otherwise the lower gear may not be engaged. First, second and third gears. Third gear would generally be used when towing a trailer during hill climbing or to use engine braking downhill. Second gear would generally be used on a slippery road, hill climbing or engine braking downhill. First gear would generally be used for driving on a very steep grade or for engine braking when descending steep hills. That's out of the i30 owner's manual. Okay, this is the maneuver step by step. First of all, drop your speed to approximately 20 km per hour by steadily braking, then change from drive down to 3 by moving the gear stick to the left. At that point, you'll be in third gear. Then, after driving for a little bit, we'll move from third gear back to drive, and then continue to drive along down the road. Cue safe expectations. The learner will be expected to complete all relevant performance checks when completing the maneuver. For example, judgment, safety margins, and speed choice. Non-critical driving errors. The driving examiner, DE, will record an error for aspects of the learner's driving performance that don't meet the requirements of the performance checks when completing the maneuver. What is a non-critical driving error? This is a driving error that does not by itself compromise safety to road users or the safe operation of the vehicle. What is a critical driving error? This is a driving error that compromises the safety of any road user or indicates an inappropriate level of skill or ability. If a CDE occurs, the test is terminated and the applicant is directed back to the testing center by the shortest or safest possible route. Intervention by examiner. The student will be unsuccessful in their driving test if the examiner is required to intervene either verbally or physically. This could be to prevent an accident, to prevent a dangerous situation occurring, for example, inadequate vehicle control that could compromise safety, to help the student through any part of the test because of their inability, that is, when it becomes necessary because of safety or inadequate time to complete the test. For more information, please go to the Watto Training YouTube channel or Watto Training website. Thanks for checking in.